Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of the ShiteTalk podcast. We are here once again for episode 22. Once again, keeping up the consistency kings, you know. We record on the Friday usually, but it's the Saturday today, but it'll still be coming out on Tuesday. So don't you worry about that. Mate, how you been? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, mate. I'm good. Just like I said, just been chilling, doing bits on the side. You know, nothing major.
Yeah, there's fuck all news this week, lads. Let's be honest.
This has been a dry ass fucking week and a half, for being honest.
Yeah, I have a few topics down for today, but is there any big news in the world of Jack Revach that needs to be shared, or shall we just get straight into it?
I think so, mate. If I'm being honest, I can't really think of anything major. Not any great stories like being chased by a fox on a run, or anything interesting like that. No, I say we just go straight into it, mate. Unless you have something you want to bring up, I say go straight into it because, like I said,
we'll crack on. We'll crack on with that. Obviously, last week was actually this day this day that we're recording. Last week was a very, very, very big day in Porto, where Chelsea became the champions of Europe. That's been like the quickest week of all time between then and now. Obviously, mate, we watched the game together, put the video out the following day.
Sure.
It still doesn't feel real, and it's still very overwhelming. I think I'd nearly say that this time is nearly more special than 2012 because I have like the YouTube and had the video, and like those memories that I put, like those clips from the video that I put on like Instagram and TikTok and that, They're moments I'll fucking cherish forever. Do you know what I mean? Like that Kai Havertz goal when the fucking final whistle went, like it was absolutely mental, mate. And I'm sure you probably agree that those kind of videos, that kind of format, is probably something we'll look to do a lot more of, especially with the Euros coming up now.
Absolutely, man. Like I think I really, like you said there at the end of it, like I think we both really enjoyed. It was something different to do. Now, as you said, it was a fucking class day, like, because obviously Chelsea, the team we're all rooting for, bar a few certain people,
which we won't talk about.
Unlucky, but yeah, no, it was definitely with the Euros coming up. It'd be interesting, like some big groups in there. I think, like, isn't it? I can't remember what group name or group letter it is, but like you got France, Germany, Portugal. That's going to be a massive one, and obviously, you would probably imagine that there's going to be great interest on seeing who the third place team is in that, and obviously they've got to get results to progress through the back door. There's some other teams in there, some teams to watch. Side note, what are your thoughts on the Euros, mate? Who do you think is looking strong? Who do you think is looking weak? Because there's been some very big shouts. I don't know if you saw recently, Mini Mints has put out a video of his Euros predictions, and he's put Germany up in the firing range to be the top end of the competition.
Wow. Really?
Which is a shout that I didn't really think many people would be thinking, mate. I don't know what you think on it.
Well, I am planning on making a video next week about my Euros predictions and all that kind of stuff. We all know how bloody wrong they're going to be, as they always are for these kind of tournaments. But for me, looking at it, I think the two favourites for this tournament are actually in that group, in Germany's group. I believe France and Portugal are the two to watch. Now, on paper, if we take the squads, like on face value, on paper, I would probably say England have actually one of the strongest squads going to the Euros. Now, me and you, mate, we've grown up in an era where England have not necessarily, performed at, tournaments, despite the fact that they've had some of the best players in the world. Like, we grew up in an era where they had players like Lampard, Gerrard, Wayne Rooney, Rio Ferdinand, John Terry, all in the same team, and yet they never, ever won anything. So despite how good England's squad is, I just never really have the faith in them to go all the way and win it. But for me, Portugal look really, really good. I know they won the Euros last time out, and you know, they have a quality squad. They've actually got a far better squad this time around, I do feel, than the one they had in 2016. Like, obviously, you got the likes of João Cancelo, the new player of the season, Ruben Diaz for Manchester City. Then you got the likes of João Felix, Bernardo Silva, Bruno, and of course, the big man, Ronaldo, might be his last Euros, of course, as well. And then with France, you've got the added factor of how good they were. They're world champions. And they've got Karim Benzema now in their squad as well. And, you know, I think Spain have a good young squad as well. Germany have not been in great form, but it's Jogi Löw's last tournament, so I think he's going to want to go out on a high. But I think this is a great time to be a football fan, is international tournaments. Like, for me and you, like, we can make so many fucking videos on this tournament. I don't think this is the first Euros that has happened since I've started YouTube. So, yeah, that's a little bit mad. But I don't know, mate. What about you? Who would you say going into it is the favourite, strength-wise?
I'd be on the same mindset as you, actually. Well, identical, really, to what you said. On paper, France, probably one of the strongest teams internationally right now. I just think they've got so much depth. They've got young players coming through as well as, you know, experience there. Portugal, I've always had a special place in my heart for. Obviously, being a Ronaldo fan, I do keep an eye on Portugal. And like you said, they've got talent coming through. And I do agree with you. I do think that they have a lot better squad than they did in, obviously, 2016. A few of the younger lads as well have come on, gelled a bit more, progressed a bit more in their career in that sense. England as well. Look, you know yourself, mate. I've got family in the house that support England. But as he was saying himself, he's not too confident. He's not really overly impressed of bringing, you know, 4 right backs in. He felt a bit disappointed. He felt there should be, you know, he's left some attacking players. He's left, obviously, Ward-Prowse, who is a set-piece specialist, you know, in a team that has so much aerial, you know, ability. It was a bit of a surprise. I personally as well, I'm just under the impression, like you say, there's been some unreal English teams, like legends of the Premier League in teams, and they still haven't managed to do it. Now, you could argue that, you know, the teams back in the old days were special as well. There was some real talent going around back then. I just don't see England having the legs to get to that final stage. Now, I'm not, like you say yourself, I won't make any outright predictions because it's the Euros, and, you know, you make a prediction and you look like an absolute bollocks if you mess it up, especially us saying it on the ShiteTalk of all places. But I don't think England will get past semi-finals. It depends, obviously, what draw you get for knockouts. I don't see them doing well, but to answer your question, my 2 standouts would probably be France and Portugal if they can avoid each other, which obviously you would imagine they will. And yeah, I'd say France and Portugal. I would say probably France to win it.
Yeah, I'd have to have a look at how the tournament tree works, because I think it's pretty much set in stone who would draw who, depending on who finishes where in the group. So I need to have a closer look at that, and I will do in my video next week. But look, I think on paper, England, quality-wise, have as good a squad. Now, I know it probably sounds a little bit out there and a bit outrageous, but I think quality-wise, I actually do think they have as good a squad as Portugal and as France. Genuinely, I do. Because you got Harry Kane, your Jadon Sancho's, Phil Foden, Mason Mount, Declan Rice. Like, this is a really talented group of England players, but I just don't think they have the bottle, mate. I think it's down to the culture, if you like, and how badly England have failed at international tournaments in my lifetime, and obviously yours as well. I'll have to have a closer look at it next week. I would like to see Portugal do well myself, especially considering, as I said, it probably will be Ronaldo's last he'll probably be at the World Cup next year, but it'll probably be his last Euros, and obviously he won it last time out, and all that kind of stuff. But as I said, man, I'm really, really looking forward to it. It's going to be I'm hoping it's going to be an absolutely cracking tournament. And hopefully we get a few surprises along the way as well, because that's one thing that I really love. Like Ireland were an absolute surprise package.
That was a fucking class tournament. Like watch that. I like to see Ireland. Like you remember the goals like Robbie Brady and the hope against France before it being immediately snatched away from us.
Yeah, that was a great tournament. But look, that was a team with, I wouldn't say unbelievable players, but like definitely better than what we have now. And I was going to touch on Ireland actually briefly, because honestly, if we talk about it for too long, I'll probably end up getting depressed. But you know, obviously we played Andorra in a friendly the other day, 1-4-1, Stephen Kenny's first win. Look, I think a lot of people are probably expecting too much of this Ireland squad. Like, if you look at the players and if you look at where they're playing, like what teams they're playing with, our starting 11 against Andorra, we had one Premier League player. One.
Jesus.
And even at that, he doesn't really even get a game. Matt Doherty at Spurs. That's the only one that
is so sad as well, that it's like a right wing back, not even like a
10 or a striker.
Yeah, you know, someone we could actually like rely on. It's Matt Doherty of all. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's so poor, isn't it? Like the fact that we fell behind as well, and it took that to fucking essentially put a metaphorical rocket up our arse and fucking get us back into the game.
It's unique as well, because I think I said to you as well, it's like we show up against these teams that we should be beaten, and somehow we always concede. It's genuinely mind-boggling. I mean, fair play to likes, you know, of these small teams that come on and, you know, give a good game for, you know, 60 minutes or even the full 90. But like you say, mate, it's so poor to see as a, you know, an Irish fan, like to have to concede, get the mindset of like, oh shit, you know, we actually can't lose this game or we're going to be shamed. Like,
yeah. It was Stephen Kenny's first win. Well, what do you have much of an opinion on Stephen Kenny so far, or are you just kind of like we'll see what happens sort of thing?
I'd be of the opinion to see what happens. I mean, I don't like. There's been heartbreak. There's definitely been heartbreak under Stephen Kenny.
Luxembourg.
Yeah, But having said that, look, I'll be honest, mate. I don't really have too much an opinion on the international side of it. I don't really have too much opinion on Stephen Kenny. But I would like to see him do well, as I think a lot of people would. I think he was pretty decent with who was it again?
Dundalk.
Yes, Dundalk, and it looked good and it was promising. It's just, I suppose the other thing you have to question is, like, can he be blamed with the quality of players he's dealing with?
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. That's the question people are asking. Like, look, he's an inexperienced manager who has only managed in the League of Ireland up until now. And by the way, can I just say, I think it is great that a former League of Ireland manager is getting the chance at this level. I think it's absolutely brilliant. He managed my father when he was at Longford Town. So, you know, that's the extra, you know, motivation towards it. But I think, you know, people are pointing to blame because of who he is. But, like, realistically, would a Mick McCarthy, Martin O'Neill, you know, someone who's, like, established in, say, English football, playing in the Premier League or managing the Premier League or whatever, would they be doing much better with this squad of players than Stephen Kenny is? Like, that's the biggest question. Because, like, they're not, with all due respect, they're not good players. Like, let's be honest with ourselves.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, when you say it as well, like, it's not like we're being critical and we're saying, like, you know, all your dog shit. Like, you know, we're being realistic here. Like, talk about where, like, I think you mentioned obviously the 2016 Euro Irish performance. Like, we had, again, you know, not incredible players, but we had, you know, decent enough players and lads that could perform at this level. Whereas now, you know, we've kind of receded a little bit and we're dealing with a couple of young players coming up and then other players who are kind of plateauing, if not dipping, in terms of their performance, both in international and, you know, league form as well. We talk about like some Matt Doherty, who will rarely get a game at Spurs now, despite being signed from Wolves in the summer. So look, I think you're right in that sense, man. I think it is a case of you know, we can be critical of Stephen and we can say, look, you know, he's a poor manager, he's inexperienced, he's this and that. But, you know, can you blame him with the tools he's working with? Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's poor. It like you look at it, it's a poor squad, and there's not a huge amount of quality there. And like as we said about the 2016 squad, there probably wasn't a huge amount of like quality, but there was heart there. And if you look at it, majority of the squad were playing Premier League football. Like I know you still had the likes of Hendrick, Robbie Brady, but at least they were playing in the Premier League. Like they were both with Burnley at the time. Robbie Brady's just been released by Burnley. Jeff Hendrick doesn't get a game at Newcastle. Aaron Connolly doesn't get a game at Brighton. Obafemi doesn't get a game at Southampton and doesn't even get picked for the actual Ireland squad. Yeah, it's just not great. It's not great. Now, we are playing Hungary on Tuesday, who are in the group of death, coincidentally, in the Euros. So I can't expect us to do much against them. I know they're probably, you know, they're well up for games now, knowing they're going to be playing Germany, France, and Portugal within the next couple of weeks. But yeah, anyway, we'll move on.
I have a quick question on that as well.
Go for it.
I was actually, myself and my father were talking about this, right? What is your opinion of playing, you know, 2 friendly games a week before the start of the Euros? But obviously, the major headline with that being Trent Alexander-Arnold's pulling out with a hamstring injury, or I believe it was, or something like that, or a
thigh injury or something like that. Yeah,
thigh or something like that. Yeah. Now, we were saying, is it a bit silly to start a full, like, I know you're trying to get games and trying to warm lads up, but on the back of a Premier League season as well?
Yeah.
What is your thought on that? Personally, from someone, now again, not to brag or anything like that, I'm not trying to do that, but from someone who studies, you know, this sort of thing and injuries at a high level of sport and, you know, intensity and frequency, it doesn't seem like the smartest move from, you know, teams at this level. Now, again, it's probably out of our reach as out of the players' concern. Personally, I just thought it was a bit of a silly move. And now, obviously, England have lost probably one of the best attacking fullbacks their squad has, and probably in the discussion best attacking fullbacks in the world right now. So just curious as to what your thought on that was.
Yeah, I think, I agree with you. It's a bit silly, considering that the players pretty much went from the 2019-20 season straight into 2020-21 because of COVID, and they were playing during the summer last year and they went straight. Like, they just haven't stopped playing. Now, I kind of get it. Maybe you want to play a more competitive game to sharpen them up as a team going into a game or going into a major tournament. And from that point of view, it makes sense, but it's a bit silly now. But I do want to throw something into the ring, right? Just a little conspiracy theory, perhaps. I know we moved on from conspiracy theories last week. There was a lot of debate, right? The biggest debate going into Gareth Southgate's picking of the England squad was to do with Trent Alexander-Arnold. A lot of people were saying, look, Kyle Walker's won the Premier League. Kieran Trippier's won La Liga. Reece James has won the Champions League. They're all shoo-ins. The big question was he going to pick Trent because he dropped him back in March for internationals, right? And a lot of people are also saying, bit silly to bring 4 right-backs. Why would you need 4 right-backs? And he's saying, oh, well, you could play Reece James and you could play Trent. You could play them midfield. Bollocks, mate. You're not going to play Reece James and Trent Alexander-Arnold midfield. Not a chance.
Not an international tournament, realistically. Like.
Not at all. So here's my thoughts, all right? And you can call me a dickhead if you want, okay? Because it might sound a bit stupid, right? What if Gareth Southgate a couple of weeks ago told Trent, right, Trent, you're not in the squad, but to protect your image and ours, we're going to play a little friendly game, warm-up game before the Euros against Austria, and you're going to get injured. Yeah, so basically to keep Southgate safe, because you know if Trent wasn't picked, announced, I'm not picking Trent, there would have been outroar, right?
I think the Scousers in particular would have been outraged.
Yes, they would have been livid. And he's gone, look, to protect your image and mine, just we'll bring you in for this provisional squad that I'm picking, and you can just get an injury in the warm-up games, and it'll protect you, protect us, everyone's good, There's plenty more tournaments ahead for you. You're still only a young lad. And I have a little slight suspicion that the same thing may have happened with Mason Greenwood, because he wasn't picked because of an injury as well. Just a thought.
I will say, mate, the injury onset, very peculiar. Like,
it's convenient, isn't it?
Mason Greenwood, as far as I was aware, was mainly fine in the build-up to the last game as well. I think Ollie actually played a fully rested squad. He gave chances to, I think he rested something like 8 or 9 players against the last game of the season. So that's a very odd one now for Mason Greenwood to pull up. Trent as well is a very interesting one. Now, I actually never even, like you say the theory, I never even thought of that, but it would make sense. Like you say, I think if Southgate was to drop Trent, I think it would definitely, there'd be question marks asked, and if England's performance dipped, for instance, and if they start conceding really poor goals from, say, crosses, I think a lot of people would be questioning that, or if they weren't getting enough influence down, say, the right-hand side or the left-hand side or wherever, he's planned to play Trent with obviously 4 right-backs in the squad. Like you say, mate, it's an interesting one. Like, I could definitely see it. I can see Southgate trying to do it, because I think people are questioning Southgate a little bit.
Yeah.
So I listen, can see
I could be way off the mark. I could be very wrong, and he could have a legitimate injury. But it's just a little something to think about, because I just thought, look, this whole picking of the England squad process has just been revolved around one position, and specifically one player, the right back position, and Trent Alexander-Arnold. So either way, if Southgate was to drop Trent, or drop Trippier, or drop James, or somebody else, there was going to be a kickoff. So the best way to keep himself safe from criticism, say that you've picked all 4 of them, and then Trent gets injured because he's not in your plans, realistically. And this might give him a chance to bring in somebody who he hasn't picked, in the shape of a Jesse Lingard or a James Ward-Prowse or someone like that. It's just a thought. Again, I could be way off the mark, but it's just a little thought that we had, and I thought it could be worth mentioning to you. And who knows? It might just be more than just a theory, lads. But let me know your thoughts on that. Let's see what else we've got to discuss. Yeah, continue on in the vein of football, right? We wanted to have a little word here, lads, because a couple of podcasts ago, me and GRZYWACZ'S were talking about FPL. Obviously, the Premier League is over, and GRZYWACZ'S promised that he was going to beat the drop.
Oh, bollocks. I didn't think this is what this is about.
He's going to beat the drop and not get relegated from our FPL league. Not that there is relegation, but like bottom 3, because there's 20 in our league. And Jack, do you want to tell the people where it is you finished in FPL?
Oh, I finished 18th. I got relegated. Can I just say, listen, I'm not having this, boys. Ollie screwed me over, right? If Ollie had fucking played Bruno and Luke Shaw like he fucking normally does, would have been fine. Would have been sorted. I made tactical changes as well to alter my squad. I'll bring up my squad there for the last day. I actually don't know if I want to do this now, but I'm fuming. I'm absolutely bulling about whoever beated me. Fair play. Congratulations. I won't be salty, but you're lucky. You're lucky, because GRZYWACZ'S was on a title charge at one point.
Man,
Kelly's looking at...
I'm looking at the table right now, right? So we've got in 18th position, GRZYWACZ'S the Great, a.k.a. Jack GRZYWACZ'S, with a final score of 1,673. Okay? 17th, 10 points ahead of you, just 10, is Cormac with 1,683. 10 Absolutely points in the difference. So like that's like a player. If a player has a sick game on the last day of the season, if you captained Bruno and he scored a hat-trick or something like that, if he scored a penalty on the last day of the season, you might have done it. But
I'm telling you what, I would have done it. I had it. I had the team in luck. People were calling me crazy at 1 week for putting Lacazette back in the squad, and it came back as tactical genius from GRZYWACZ'S. But look, I'm heartbroken, to say the least, boys. I genuinely think I would have been in the top. I was on to beat it as well. I think I actually started that week, the last week of the season. I actually started ahead. I was in 17th. I was clear of the drop on the last week. And I was like, all I have to do is just get the average score that I usually get, which I think is about 40, 50 nowadays.
Yeah.
And I would be okay. I'm just trying to get the team up. I played. Oh, I don't know if I should read that out. There's a few stinkers in that side. Wow, yeah, that ended up being a shit out weekend.
Yeah. To be fair though, like Ole did play like a few youngsters on the last day because United
he played, I think, Charlotte, and he played like I don't know if Ahmad played. I think he might have came on or something like that. But he named a fairly rested squad because obviously he had the Euros in his mind, and we all know how well the rested players played on that night. But yeah, I'm absolutely hard. I was genuinely very confident I would pull it back because, you know, but it is what it is. Fair enough. You know, it is the pain of the FPL.
We reload and go again, mate, because I am going to, well, we have our own private league for the Euros, and I am going to make a big league for you guys, subscribers, to join for the Euros. So there's chance for redemption there. I would like to end that point by saying that I did finish pretty mid-table mediocrity, 12th place, Reese's set pieces, with a final score of 1,852. I was a bit annoyed because I was trying to catch Josh in 11th, but yeah, I was 22 points behind him in the end. So unfortunate, really, but look, we move. I just said it is what it is. It is what it is. Speaking of, actually, you mentioned the Europa League final, and I don't want to talk about the Europa League final because I bet you don't either.
Thank God.
I want to bring up the point of the fact, obviously, Villarreal won and Chelsea won the Champions League, meaning they are going to face each other in the Super Cup. Have you heard where the Super Cup is taking place?
No, but I have a feeling it's going to be somewhere incredible.
Mate, it's in Belfast.
What?
Chelsea versus Villarreal is in Windsor Park in Belfast on, I think, the 11th of August or something like that.
Jeez, how the fuck did they manage that?
I am there, ladies and gentlemen. I am there as soon as tickets go on sale. But yeah, it's a little bit mad if I managed to get it in Belfast. I've not seen the stadium, but according to sources, I won't reveal my sources, it's a bit of a shithole. But we'll see.
It's a bit of a shithole.
It's a bit shit. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. But imagine that, man. Imagine we managed to get a little UEFA Super Cup vlog on the channel. That would be absolutely.
That would be pretty sick, mate. I have to say, the match day vlogs are always good. The match day vlogs are always good. You get a nice little vibe.
Yeah, I haven't been able to go to too many games, unfortunately, in my time. But I plan on changing that. I think this COVID pandemic has really spurred me on. I want to go Stamford Bridge and see a Premier League game or a Champions League game or something as well. Hope maybe next season. We'll see how it goes, lads. It's all dependent on COVID and all that kind of shit. Okay, I have a bit of news, mate, as well. Right?
I
have a bit of news.
Wow.
So, if you remember a couple of podcasts ago, I mentioned the possibility of the podcast getting a little sponsorship. Of a certain sauce.
No.
I went on the ShiteTalk podcast Instagram and decided to send Chef a message, right? I'll read it out. To whom it may concern, this is a bit of a wild shot, but we said we won't know if we don't try. We are the ShiteTalk podcast, a very small YouTube-based a YouTube podcast based in County Longford. We upload a podcast every 2 weeks and we discuss all things from football to YouTube drama to general current affairs. In one of our most recent episodes, we sang the praises for your chip shop curry sauce and people found it really funny and entertaining. We also talked about the possibility of your brand sponsoring the podcast, and it got me thinking of ways we could help promote the brand and specifically the sauce. And then I brought up an idea that we had. I won't reveal that. But it was essentially along the lines of a Blue Van Man try-along during the podcast that we talked about.
Lovely.
again, we are aware that this is a real stretch, but if you are interested in working together, please feel free to get back in touch. All the best, Aaron. Right. So I got an automatic message straight away, basically saying that they respond typically within 2 working days. They didn't until last Thursday. At 2:15. They said, "Hi, Aaron. Thank you for your message. We appreciate you mentioning us in your podcast. For all sponsorship opportunities, please contact our advertising agency, OMD. Many thanks and good luck with the show. Kind regards, Chef." So we got a response, and I have to contact somebody else to get a little sponsorship deal. Imagine. So we got a response anyway.
Bro, can we just peek the fact that we've gone to Chef Chip Shop Curry and they're actually listening? They're actually
responding.
Like, you know what? We'll give you a chat. We'll contact these boys and we'll talk then. Like, you know, fucking hell, man.
Yeah, I have to find some contact details for that advertising agency now. But yeah, can you imagine the scenes, man? I literally said in the message as well, like support in any way you can, whether that be sending Chip Shop Curry or doing whatever.
Like we're happy to do it. Like in fairness, like I think we're both very sold on the curry. Like
very much so. But yeah, I thought it was so funny that they even responded. To be quite honest, because it got to the point I messaged them and then they were like, "Oh, 2 to 3 working days will respond." And I think like 2 weeks passed and they still hadn't responded up until like last Thursday. The fact that we've even got responses is fucking wild. So thank you, Chef. We'll be in touch. Let me see. What else have we got? Okay. Yeah, another one. We talked about this last week, but it hadn't gone up yet. Third Time Lucky 2 happened.
Yes.
Last Friday, I think it was. And I have to say, mate, we were an absolute hit. People loved us.
It went down pretty well. I actually remember watching the live stream and seeing the comments, and it just got really good reception.
Yeah, I was surprised at how good a reception it got. Like, I'm not saying it was a good video. Like, there was a little bit of wind interference, but it was a good video, I thought, overall. And then I think the biggest, most impressive comment we got was from a certain Charlie Roxburgh. You might know him. Basically saying that he's planning on stealing the video idea for an Ethan Bazinga football video. Man, that'd be fucking elite if that happened.
I mean, I'm just saying, mate, a little bit of credit there as well for Kelly, and mad things could happen.
Because as I said, like Bazinga videos are nearly always on the fucking trending tab these days as well. So it's like that would be fucking insane. But I put out
devil's advocate here, mate.
Yeah.
To credit you properly, should they do a rematch with you versus Bazinga?
Ooh.
Now that's really playing devil's advocate.
Here's the thing, though. Do I qualify for the rematch, or do you? You won the video.
I would argue, mate, if we're sending our best person, it's going to be, if we're being honest, it just has to be. There's no way.
We've got to send the winner, lads. Surely, like, we got to send the winner.
It was a bit jammy as well.
Roxburgh as well in the comments was just like, "Oh man, absolutely skied it, lads. So shocking bad."
We'll have to say if it does get to that, we're gonna have to send them over a Gaelic ball or something like that because they need to experience that.
They need to.
Gaelic ball is different kicking. Like,
do you know what? I'm glad we didn't get the Slippers X Gaelic ball combination because that would have been fucking
that genuinely might have caused injury.
Yeah, because lads, if you're not from Ireland, Gaelic balls are just like horrendously. They're like rocks. They're like rocks. And I think there's a big difference actually between a Gaelic ball for senior and a Gaelic ball for like underage, like minors and that. Like I had such a big shock when I first started training senior football, and the difference in the footballs, man, it was like, oh my god, this is horrendous. Like it's so bad.
Why am I doing this to my foot?
Yeah, so bad. But look, it was a great video. People really liked the idea, and look, even if Roxburgh doesn't do it for an Ethan video, it was nice to get the comments anyway.
Nice shout out anyway, at least.
A shout out would be very, very nice. But look, we move. What else we got? Okay, I've only got one more topic. Lads, this is going to be a relatively short podcast compared to other weeks because we're quite tight on time. We're only filming this on the Saturday, and I've got very few comments as well. Or comments, fucking, what do you call them? Topics for today as well.
Yeah.
So we've talked about this before. We talked about this back in like September, I think it was, on the podcast, and it was when it was first announced. It's been pushed back a couple of times, but it's happening this Sunday evening. So
Yes,
by the time this podcast goes out, the fight will have happened between Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul.
Oh, brother.
The fact that that like Floyd Mayweather fighting Logan Paul in the same sentence is still fucking baffling to me, to be quite honest with you. Like when we talk about predictions for this fight, mate.
Yeah.
Like surely it's got to go just one way.
Yeah, you would have to have a fairly big bollocks on you to say Logan Paul is going to be 50 and 50-1 Floyd Mayweather. Like let's be honest here. I think as well. I don't know if you saw, but there was an event on Sky Sports. You might not have seen it, but it was Sky Sports had a live stream up. It wasn't a face-off. It was quoted, I think, like the red carpet event for Floyd Mayweather and Logan, or like the red carpet media event.
Yeah.
And it was in the Versace mansion, bro. It was in and the two guys doing it were wearing Versace bathrobes. And they're from, I think, DAZN boxing or showbiz or something like that, like an American.
Yeah.
And it was so dry, man. It was absolutely. I don't know if you bothered watching it, but I
didn't even see that.
Just from the pod. Yeah, if anyone did watch it, lads, you know it was dry. Like, I think the main thing it was is they wanted to see if there would be a face-off in or after the media questions. But yeah, it was fairly standard media stuff. And then I assume you may have seen when there was actually a face-off between Floyd and Logan. And one thing I didn't realize is how small Mayweather looks in comparison height-wise to Logan Paul. It was quite funny to see that. But Floyd and Logan were staring down, lads, if you didn't notice. Didn't watch it. And they were having a stare down. Logan was chatting shit. Floyd, cool, just didn't really say anything, just staring at him, locking eyes. And then Logan obviously went to break away.
Well, he stepped onto him, yeah.
Yeah, Floyd stepped onto him and stopped him from leaving, which I have to say, it was a bit cold. I have to say, that was real, like, I was like, oh shit, like something could go down here. But
it was a bit of a long face off as well. Like they were looking at each other for a long time, That's why Logan was probably getting a bit like it's a bit uncomfortable now. Just had to start backing off. And then Floyd steps to him.
I think that's what Floyd wanted. I think it made him uncomfortable. Like it's like you said, Logan wasn't getting anything out of Floyd. I think Logan may have wanted to, rattle Floyd. But obviously he can't really do that. he's done this thousands of times now, Floyd. But yeah, I think when he stepped onto him as well, that was when he realized, like, oh shit, like this, it's gone on now a bit.
yeah. Like if we're being honest, like a lot of people are saying, oh, what if Logan does this? I mean, I just can't see it. Like this guy lost to KSI. Like, I like Logan. I actually do like Logan. Right?
Yeah, I do.
I do like Logan. He's a likable character. But, like, levels, man. Levels. Like, Floyd Mayweather, we're talking about one of, if not the greatest boxer of all time. Like, are we going to see a knockout? Or are we just going to see a typical Floyd where he just kind of wears him down and picks him apart?
Well, this is the thing. And I think people were saying, like, Logan has the height and the reach over Floyd. But I think you can't really use that anymore as an advantage. You're talking about Floyd Mayweather, an elite boxer who has literally done this his whole life, who would have fought against people like this before. He knows what to do. I can imagine in the first couple of rounds, he may not go guns. I think a lot of people are saying that Floyd would go guns blazing and try and knock him out in the first round. He doesn't. Because it's a risk. Like you say, you catch him off and you're on the back foot. I think he's going to feel he's going to feel him out a bit, and then once he gets to the reach, the style worked. He's just going to pick him off slowly, and then when the opening is there, like you say, it's lights out.
Yeah, it has to be, surely. Like,
have you seen as well the rules for this exhibition event?
I seen it briefly. Something like was it 8 3-minute rounds?
So there's 8 3-minute rounds. There is going to be no official declared winner.
Yeah. So if Floyd loses, he won't beat 50-1. sort of thing.
Yeah,
like
it's not going. It won't technically be on his official record that he was 50-1, but it will.
He will have lost to Logan Paul.
He will have be remembered for the guy who lost to a YouTuber, podcaster, and as he describes, a Pokemon card collector. The other thing that was interesting as well, as far as I'm aware, and I heard them talking about this, there technically is no rules in the sense that there's no boxing etiquette, like, as in you could technically be boxing and you could throw an elbow if you wanted, like, and it's not deemed illegal. It's frowned upon, I think, but it's not. As far as I know, that's what they were talking about in the live event. Now, again, this is the live event. It could all just be waffle. It could be shit.
Yeah.
But that seemingly is what it says, that they were talking about the fight getting dirty and it kind of going a bit sour. So, look, there is potential for it to go like that. And, of course, I think that there is knockouts allowed. I think they were saying that you can physically knock someone out. And then, like, I think they were saying in some fights, it's like they don't allow it, or in some states they don't allow like just for knocking someone out.
Yeah.
But it is going ahead now, so it could get messy.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling Logan, if he's on the back foot, may get a bit messy. Now, again, I'm not trying to screw Logan, because I actually do like Logan. Like I said, he's grown on a lot of people. He's matured a bit.
Yeah.
But I think against Floyd Mayweather, you've surely got to try something. You've got to survive, even, like, if not win.
Yeah, like, especially when it's like an exhibition match, like it is. You know what I mean? Like, that is, I don't know, I just feel like that is like the prime time for Logan to just be like, fuck this. Like, he broke the rules against KSI as well, if we remember rightly.
Technically, yeah, he technically did. Yeah.
Like, he lost the fight against KSI because he fucked it. Like, what was it? He hit him in the back of the head, and then he hit him while he was down or something like that, and he lost.
I think he was going down, or KSI slipped, or he actually was going down. Yeah. And as he's gone down, he's caught him on the back of the head, and then obviously as he's going down, he's got him, I think, in the front of the head, like a little like uppercut trying to do thing. But I think in this game it allows a few more of those errors, so to speak, if you know what I mean. Like, you know,
fuck. Can you imagine if he does something dirty like that and catches him and knocks him out? Like,
even you say that as well, but Floyd could try it. Floyd doesn't need to.
Floyd could,
Floyd could. Like, I mean, you talk about
down to it.
There's been a serious amount of animosity there.
Yeah.
in this build up. Obviously they referenced it as well in the live event. They didn't shut up about it. The stealing of his hat.
Got your hat.
Paul coming away. Jake Paul coming away with a black eye. So yeah, like there's animosity there. It could get messy. Hopefully it doesn't, and it just, you know, you do see a genuine knockout and is entertaining. But what I thought was funny as well, just a complete side note, is that Mayweather big in his fight up saying that, you know, we've made it, you know, half price. You know, our last fight was $100. You know, we wanted to make this one $100 as well, but we thought, you know what? Now we'll make it accessible and make it $50 or $60. Like, as if that's cheap. You know, for a fucking exhibition fight, not a heavyweight bout, nothing on the line, no bullshit, no piss take. We're still gonna charge 60. Like, I was like, you're waffling, mate.
Yeah, absolutely waffling. Another question is, like, a lot of people bringing up, like, the integrity of this fight as well. Like, do you believe the integrity of the sport of boxing has been seriously tainted by the fact that Floyd has even taken this fight against someone like Logan? Or will that integrity not be lost unless he, like, loses to Logan or something like that?
So my opinion on this is, right, because it's an exhibition event, you know, you see a lot of people do exhibition events, and, you know, they're exhibition, they're for entertainment. Like, they're not serious bouts. Like, I think, like, you see people do exhibition events against, like, I think there was, like, you know, you can come back after a boxing injury and then fight someone who's retired or, like, retiring, and that's an exhibition event. There's nothing on the line, there's nothing to lose. It's just, you know, for entertainment and to build it back up. I think as well, like, he said it himself, like, Floyd Mayweather, you know, he's Money Mayweather. You know, he is talking about taking a quick, easy, you know, couple of million from whatever he's getting from this. Yeah. You know, essentially for him, or it's going to come across as an easy. He described it as a daylight bank robbery. This fight for him, like, so. Yeah. in that sense, I think it's all right. I do understand though where people are coming from, like die-hard boxing fans, seeing Floyd Mayweather, one of the greatest fighters, fight essentially. Now, with all due respect to Logan, they're fighting a nobody in Logan Paul in the boxing world. Outside of it, Logan's huge, he's massive, but in boxing terms, a nobody, like a guy who's come on from YouTube, a lot of people probably don't know about or know a lot of. So I can definitely see why people think like, it's Floyd Mayweather spitting on the sport, especially if he loses, it's going to cause absolute uproar.
It really is. It really is.
I think my personal opinion is it's an exhibition bout, it's entertainment, to just leave it at that. Take away, it's boxing, it's sport, it's meant to be entertainment. It's not a heavyweight bout. Like I said, it's not anything in the line. Floyd's record's not going to be affected by it, even though he will be known as the person who loses to Logan Paul.
Yeah.
And having said that, he has to win it. If he doesn't win it, like we said, there will be uproar. There will be massive backlash from it. And yeah, that's where I stand on it. It's just entertainment, so just let it be,
Yeah, I get that. And from Logan's point of view as well, it's like, why wouldn't he take a fight like this? Do you know what I mean? Like, he's just come off the back of losing having a bad loss against JJ and all that kind of stuff. And he's taken multiple L's in the public eye. And, he's back to a position where he's going strong. He's absolutely smashing what he's doing with Impulsive and his own videos and obviously all, the Pokemon card collecting and all that kind of stuff. Like, he's absolutely smashing it. And when he's offered a fight like this, he has, it's probably the main thing he's talked about throughout the build up to this fight is he has nothing to lose. And that is the one thing that would kind of scare me for Floyd. Not that I am scared for Floyd, because again, it's Logan Paul, but the fact that this guy has nothing to lose, he's going to go in there and he's going to leave everything he can. Like we've seen in the second fight against KSI, he was a little bit reserved, just kind of jabbing and moving, trying to, take advantage of the reach advantage he had over KSI. Like, I feel like in this one, he has to just go hell for leather, but be careful because if he gets caught and dropped, like, it doesn't really matter either way if he does. Realistically, he's still getting a massive bag at the end of it, and he's still going to be able to say that he's fought Floyd Mayweather. Do you know what I mean? So, from Logan's point of view, I can just say fair play.
Yeah, just exactly on that, mate. Like at the end of the day, like if you're brave enough to fight Floyd Mayweather, that's hats off to you. You're showing it. And like you do say, like there's nothing really to lose for Logan. Like he's come in, he's again, it's an exhibition about, so he's just looking to get a boxing game going. It is definitely pressure. Now I know Mayweather doesn't feel pressure, or if he does, he's very, very good at hiding it. But I mean, surely there's got to be a sense in the back of his mind, maybe not because he's such an elite athlete.
Yeah.
But if it was me, and again, this is coming from a non-elite, but like you would be thinking surely that you can't let this guy beat you. And I do agree that Logan has to go for it in a sense. But at the same time, I would think if Logan Paul can survive 8 rounds, now there's no winner declared. So technically speaking, if it goes the distance, it's deemed a draw.
Yeah, even that would be bad for Floyd.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, if Logan actually survives, like, Logan may not even, I know he's going to try, but Logan, realistically, if his defense is good, if his guard is good,
yeah,
he could go 8 rounds. Like, I know it's 8 rounds, 3 minutes. It's going to be very difficult against Floyd Mayweather. And again, it's a stretch to see Logan do anything but lose. But if he does, like people say he won't win, and fair enough, I don't see him win. I think we can both agree we don't see him winning this. But there is a small percentage of a chance that he could potentially survive 8 rounds, and the draw would be massive. Whatever way you look at it, Floyd has to win. He has to win, otherwise it is a huge fucking hell, on his behalf. But yeah, like you say, Logan's got nothing to lose. If he can survive, he's one of very few people that can say he survived against Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's gonna be intriguing to think about all the same. Now, obviously, by the time this podcast goes out, the fight will have happened and we'll know what the result was and all. So what we could be saying here could turn out to be absolute bollocks if Logan goes out and absolutely batters him. But let's be honest, I don't think any of us are expecting that.
No.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting nonetheless. I've got nothing else really to talk about, mate, today, other than we've got through all our topics. I know you've got to go at I think 4 o'clock or something like that. So yeah, we'll wrap it up here unless you've got anything else to add.
I don't think so, mate. I mean, the only thing I was going to bring was the obviously the Floyd Mayweather stuff. But we've covered that, so I'm just trying to think if anything else major happened.
It has been a slow 2 weeks, to be fair. Overall,
it really, really has. I mean, the only thing I can think of is transfer news in football, but even at that, it's been speculation rather than serious moves. So
yeah, well, Barcelona have made a few signings so far, a couple of free transfers in that, but other than that, United are still after Jadon Sancho and Harry Winks now, apparently, as well. So that's very interesting. Antonio Conte's turned down Spurs as well because he said he wants to win stuff, which is not really a surprise.
I didn't realize he said that.
This is pretty much what he said, mate. He was like, yeah, I would like to win stuff, so I'm not going to Tottenham.
Oh, my God. Spurs are finished.
Savage Conte. Especially if Harry Kane leaves. If Harry Kane leaves, it's bins. Actually, was going to say one more thing. Did you see the Premier League Team of the Year?
I did, mate. I did see that. I had a feeling this would be brought up.
I've got one complaint. One.
I thought there would be. I think we both...
Out of the whole thing, I have one complaint. Heung-min Son making it into the Team of the Year. Why? Now, listen, there was no Chelsea players included in. I don't care. Because as Kai Havertz said, I don't give a fuck. We just won Champions League. You know, I don't care. But, like, surely there's got to be better options in there than Son.
I mean, look, what I thought of it was, I thought, okay, they've put him in, obviously, because he's linked up well with Harry Kane. And, you know, the link up with Harry Kane is probably like, bro, are you actually putting him in because of the link up, realistically? Are you putting him in because someone else has played him through every single game?
Yeah.
Realistically, like, I like Heung-min Son. I think he's a good player. I like him. He just seems like an entertaining person. Do I think he deserved in the team of the season? Probably not. I definitely think there was better talent out there in the league that probably could have earned themselves that spot. But again,
listen, I'll throw out a few names, right? Mahrez, Foden, Money Mace, you know, any of them?
I thought Mason Mount was a bit robbed, if I'm being honest. I actually was very certain he would get in. I think he's been unreal for Chelsea in the Premier League.
There's just been times where he's absolutely carried us this season. Do you know what I mean? Like, particularly that second half of the season. But apart from that, I think it was fairly self-explanatory, really. Ederson got in, not really surprised, but maybe to mix it up, I would have thrown in maybe an Emi Martinez or...
That's what I was thinking of, yeah.
And Edouard Mendy, perhaps. That's probably just me being a bit biased, but I think he's had a fantastic season.
I'm going to throw something in the works here, mate, and this is definitely going to piss a lot of people off if there is any United fans that watch. I don't think Bruno deserves it in Team of the... I just don't. I know, mate. I'm sorry. I understand that he's had a very good start, and you know the first half of the season he was brilliant. When he came in, he was brilliant. Recently, mate, he's stunk. Like he's just like big game player. Like he just flops. And like people can talk about, oh, he scored so many goals this season. Oh, he's bloody. Shuts up, man. He's fucking waffled his way there. I'm not trying to hear it. Like, I'm sorry. I personally, look, I mean, I can understand it. I understand why Bruno's there. I just think he's a bit lucky to be there. And I know that's a controversial statement coming from a United fan. Yeah. I just think that Bruno is hyped up to a level that he's not.
Yeah. Currently. To be honest, to a point, I do kind of agree with you. Like, people will say, oh, he's one of the highest scored midfielders. He got, like, what was it, 16 or 17 odd goals in the Premier League this season. But, mate, how many of them are penalties?
That's the other thing. That is the other thing.
End of the day, how many of Bruno's goals are penalties? And also, I agree with another point you made. He doesn't really show up in the big games when you want him to. Like,
Yeah.
And do you know what I find funny as well? Football Twitter really gets to him as well. Like, you can just tell. Like, there was an interview before they played Man City, and he was talking about his goals this season and all that, and he was like, people said that I don't turn up in the big games, but I scored in a penalty against Tottenham. So I suppose if that goal doesn't go in, I suppose if that goal doesn't count, I suppose we lost the game 6-0 instead of 6-1. And I was like,
it's such a difference. Like, well, the thing is though, mate, I don't think the other side of Europe is ready for English or Irish stan football Twitter. It's different levels. Like, if you actually go on, I know it's so stupid, but if you actually go on and see when there's a statement made or a headline made about any English football player, if you go down to the comments, it's all like, say for instance, Fernandez, all it is just Penandes, and all this shit.
Football Twitter, like, man.
Better than Bruno, and it's all these mad comments. Like you say, I think it's definitely rattled him. Just no offense, he's
not able for it.
That sort of shit in Sporting, where he was previously, I think he was. But yeah, look, that's my opinion on it. As well as that, I just think that you just made the point as well about him scoring goals from the penalty spot. The other thing I would say as well, which is pretty much what you're saying, is how many goals does he get from open play?
I can't think of too many, man.
I think I can think of maybe three or four that he's got from open play. Now, one of them is, I can definitely remember in my mind, it was a decent strike and it's gone in. It's brilliant. But for someone who plays there and someone who's bigged up to be, the talisman, like the creative player in that team,
yeah,
I don't see a lot of it nowadays. Yeah. Hopefully, we will see a turnaround. A time off. Well, I said time off. He's got the Euros coming up, but
yeah,
that's kind of sense. But we may see a change. Personally, I don't think Bruno should be there. I do think there's been better, particularly younger players that have, been really good.
Well, look, I'm going to sound like a biased prick, but again, I don't care. I don't care. I think, you see, I'm going to get so much stick for this, but we don't care, lads. We don't care. I think Mason Mount had a better season overall. Now I know, I know he didn't. I know he didn't get as many goals and get as many assists, but I just feel like he contributes way more to Chelsea than Bruno does to Man United. I might sound like a knob. I might.
No, mate. I think you're right, because I think if you think about it, right, let's bring it back to open play as well. Like, when you're talking about the positions those two players play, we talk about link-up play as well as, scoring goals and doing whatever. Like Bruno, we say he's goal scoring. We'll call a spade and say he scores from the penalty spot 70 or 60% of the time. Yeah. Let's just say that. Mount, on the other hand, I'm pretty sure scores from open play consistently, or when he gets a chance, he does usually find the back of the net. A link-up play, on the ball movement, dribbling. It's not much in it, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think there is. There's definitely aspects to Mason's game that you can improve, but like I seen it just reminded me, there was a Mark Goldbridge comment that he made recently, and he said, he was like, if you take away Bruno's penalties this season, he goes, he's no better than Mason Mount or Jack Grealish. That's what Mark Goldbridge said. Now, make of that what you will, but
I wouldn't do that as if Mason Mount is like the average standard player like in the Premier League. I would disagree with that, but I get what he's saying. I think in a sense, I think it's kind of important that he says that, because he is United through and through. He is, if you're on about social media and reactions, he's the voice of United at the minute. For him to say that, as deluded as he can be sometimes, and as funny as he is to watch and laugh at, he's made a valid point, and I think it's the same point we're making. He just, take away his goals, he does become, an average or maybe above average player. I don't think people were throwing around the terms world class, player in the Premier League. I don't think you can really say that, mate. Like, if they take away his penalties and, review his individual performances in open play, I don't see it. I don't see it.
Yeah, especially like honest. You want to see him perform in them big games as well. Like that's the big issue. Like he doesn't perform in big games, but As you say, mate, who knows? Maybe he will improve, have a good Euros, and who knows? We're not understood. Like Bruno Fernandes is a great player. Like we're not underestimating that at all. But I feel like for the amount of hype, as you said, mate, for the amount of hype that gets built around him, he could contribute a little bit more to open play than he does. But yeah. Anyway, little interesting point there to end the pod on. Let us know your thoughts in the comments section down below. GRZYWACZ'S, mate, thank you so much again for joining me today.
How about our lad?
Lads, if you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you are new. I hope you enjoyed. Again, sorry if this is a little bit shorter than usual, but we were quite unprepared for this week. I had a coaching course kind of dropped on me yesterday that was happening this morning. And,
GRZYWACZ'S got called into work.
GRZYWACZ'S got called into work yesterday. So, we're flat out, but we're keeping the consistency going. And I hope you guys are enjoying the podcasts. And we'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Take care and good luck.